Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
BAL Tire.
Last night, the Tigers belted 3 home runs in the ball game and route to a 7-3 win. One of them was off the bat of J.D. Martinez, who is now tied for second in all of baseball with 26 home runs. J.D. back in the cleanup spot again tonight. The Tigers taking on the Baltimore Orioles. We welcome you to Comerica Park. Game 2 in this series featuring the Tigers and the O's. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. And really, Rod, exactly what the ball club needed last night. They got off to a nice start here in the second half.
You know, I really liked the production at the bottom of the batting order in last night's game. That would be Iglesias and also Anthony Gose. And the Tigers, when they're going good, those two guys are wreaking havoc at the bottom of the batting order, and that turns it over to guys like Victor Martinez and J.D. Martinez. With runners in scoring position, they do major damage.
All right, speaking of doing major damage, David Price has done a lot of that this year. Usually when he's on the mound, that means the Tigers typically win.
And that means the opposition needs to pack a lunch. Because David Price usually, when he takes the mound, he's got that workman-like attitude. He usually stays out there for quite a while. Take a look at his numbers when he starts. That's the team 15-3, and of course he's largely responsible for that with that power fastball that he commands in the mid-90s. His changeup this year has been simply exceptional. Legitimate swing and miss changeup that Price has been featuring all season.
All right, get ready for Game 2 of the series. Coming up after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane. Coming up in this one tonight, Jose Iglesias back in the lineup, typically making great defensive plays. Last night he was flexing some muscle. Tigers, Orioles, next. The Orioles in Game 2 in the series. The Baltimore starting lineup tonight presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Machado, Pierce, Jones in the top 3 spots. Wieters batting cleanup because his numbers are great against David Price. Then Davis and Hardy, Scope, Reinwold, and Joseph, your bottom 3 for Baltimore. And the starter tonight is Dave Price, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And David Price looking for his 10th win here tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. He checks in 9-2 with an outstanding earned run average. He struck out 115. He's only walked 25, and they're only hitting .243 against the Tigers' ace.
And the first pitch of tonight's ball game is in for a strike on Manny Machado, who is batting .299. Machado, with 19 home runs this year, was 1 for 2 in the opener last night, but he also walked 3 times. Price's 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Tigers pitchers last night gave Machado a steady diet of good hard fastballs inside. And that's something that David Price has done with regularity the last couple of months. Really good firm fastballs inside at about 94, 95 miles an hour.
1-1 is low. 2 balls, 1 strike on Machado. 38 walks this year for Manning, which is tied for the team lead along with Chris Davis. Now Price with the 2-1. Fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tigers 1 game over the 500 mark, courtesy of their victory last night. Sanchez able to battle through. Maybe not his best stuff, but good enough to win last night.
That is a really good sign of a good pitcher. And when you go out there with less than your best stuff, and yet you're able to come away with a victory against a team that has some really good offensive players.
Now the 2-2. It is inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Machado.
Whoa, where was that?
We're about to find out. Just a touch in, according to Mr. Fox Tracks.
And Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire.
James McCann flashing signals again here tonight defensively for the Tigers. Here's the 3-2. Machado pops it up foul, back out of play.
David has been fearless with his changeup in about the last couple of months. Lots of swings and misses on that pitch, and enough confidence to throw it to Machado there. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Price has won 5 consecutive decisions. He has not lost a game since, get this, May 31st.
Is that a long time?
That's a long time. We were back in Anaheim, so that was quite a few trips ago. And again, the 3-2 coming out of Machado. He walked in, ball 4.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health System. JD Martinez in the outfield has been tremendous this year. He has 9 assists, which ranks 3rd in the American League, and also that .994 fielding percentage in the top 10. So JD Martinez not only getting it done with that bat, he's also getting it done with that leather.
Made a nice play in the ball game last night with JD. Here is Steve Pierce, who is batting in the 2 spot tonight, playing first base. Buck Showalter jamming his lineup with right-handed batters against the lefty Price. Here's a strike called, 0-1.
And most of the right-handers that Buck Showalter has in his lineup tonight, most of them are dead pull hitters, which means that changeup is going to be a very good pitch all night long for David Price if he's able to command it down and away from a lot of these right-handed bats.
With the exception of Jimmy Paredes, who is a switch hitter, nothing but lefties on the bench tonight for Baltimore. That is fouled back out of play, 0-2 on Pierce. .228 hitter. He's hit 7 home runs this year. Had a really big year last year, filling in for Chris Davis. 21 home runs. That was a career high. Machado walked to lead things off here tonight. Game 2 in this 3-game series. And the 0-2. Fouled away. Orioles 1 game under the 500 mark, yet when you look at what things appear like in the East, they are still within striking range, 5 games back in the American League East. No one really has seized command of that division. These are the updated numbers. 4.5 back now for the Orioles. Yet they are 3-11 in their last 14 games. Not been able to make up any ground. Driven foul back out of play. 0-2 the count stays on Pierce.
Already a pretty nice job by the first two hitters in the Baltimore lineup, Machado, now Pierce. They've seen a total of 11 pitches against David Price.
Machado earning the walk on a 3-2 pitch. Now Price again set with the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Finally got Pierce. One gone.
It's a cut fastball here thrown by David Price, but it has slider action to it. And velocity at 92 miles an hour buried at the bottom of the strike zone. That's a really good 0-2 pitch.
So here is Adam Jones now with 1 on, 1 out. Jones, the center fielder, 2 out of 5 in the ball game last night. Solid numbers across the board at All-Star again this year.
Adam Jones very aggressive when you decide to throw him a first pitch fastball. He also has very quick hands, lightning quick bat.
And Machado draws the throw. He has 13 steals this year. 16 attempts. Price very methodical here in the first inning after the leadoff walk.
It's kind of like his start 5 days ago against the Minnesota Twins, where he got off to a very sluggish start that evening.
In that start, Price would end up going 8 innings, 2 runs, neither were earned, 8 punch-outs in that game.
Yeah, he retired like the last 10 in a row before he departed, and that's one of the reasons why he was able to go so far in that game, even though the pitch count was up real early in that contest.
Jones chasing the high fastball there, 0-1.
Very difficult to catch up to a 95-mile-per-hour fastball upstairs.
Orioles this month have really had trouble getting the bats going. They're hitting just .221 as a team in July. Swing and a miss.
And the Orioles raised a lot of eyebrows when they decided to designate Delman Young for an assignment. Delman Young hadn't played in the postseason the last 5 years with a couple of different teams, but Baltimore did not have any more room for Delman, so they simply let him go. And Delman, you can say what you want to say about it, but he can hit.
Meanwhile, 0-2 on Jones. And now Jones will finally step on Price. 43 driven in this year for Jones. Price very preoccupied with Machado at first base. Here's the 0-2. Fouled straight back. Price coming into this game with an ERA of 2.38, and that is good for 4th best in the American League. He unquestionably has worked himself into ace status here in the Tigers rotation, and really has been the one guy that the Tigers have been able to count on all season long. Others have shown flashes, like Sanchez. Verlander had that really good game against Minnesota. But David really from the get-go has been awfully good. And now they got Machado picked off. He'll get in a rundown, but it's not going to end well. And Machado is tagged out. Two gone, bases empty.
It looked like Manny was entertaining the thought of stealing a base there, and David obviously picked him off. And nice job with the rundown here. One pump fake with the arm by Iglesias, which got Machado running hard back toward first base, and then he got the ball to Avila, who was able to apply the tag.
1-3, 6-3 in the caught stealing of Machado. Now 0-2 on Jones with the bases empty. Bouncing ball third base side. Barehanding try by Castellanos. He can't come with it cleanly. And Jones is aboard with 2 outs.
It's a wise decision giving Jones a base hit there. That ball took a very tricky hop on Castellanos, which meant instead of using the glove, he had to try to reach down and barehand it and could not come up with it cleanly.
2-out infield single for Jones, his 3rd hit in the series. We'll keep the inning going now for Matt Wieters, the designated hitter tonight. Wieters caught in the ball game last night. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery, so he's not really worked himself into a full-time catching position yet. And he looks at ball 1 high. And for whatever reason, Wieters has really seen the ball well out of David Price's hand, because he hits him extremely well. .366 to be exact, with a home run. Driven toward right field, slicing back into the seats. 1-1 on Wieters. Here are those numbers we spoke of. 15 for 41 with a home run.
Of course, Wieters had a chance to see David quite often when David was pitching in the same division, the American League East, when he was pitching for Tampa.
Wieters last night, a couple of hits, scored a run. Orioles have had several guys that have been on the disabled list this year, among them Wieters. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike on the Orioles DH. A couple of years ago, Wieters' first career hit when he first came up with the Orioles was against the Tigers, and that was at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, a triple against Justin Verlander. Rolled foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Probably not too many catchers rolling around whose first big league hit was a 3-bagger.
Especially in Camden Yards.
Although James McCann's first home run was hit inside the barcode.
Right.
Here's the ratio on Price. He's thrown 20 here in the first inning. Fouled straight back.
And James McCann wanted this fastball inside. It's firm at 95. That's the only reason why David Price able to get away with it, but the ball leaked right back over the heart of the plate. He wants it inside, and this ball ends up right down the middle.
Wieters just missed it. And again the 2-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out. Wieters is out of there. David Price strikes out a pair in the first inning. Tigers, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Detroiters tonight, Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez. Good numbers career against the O's. JD batting cleanup at Castellanos and Avila. And your bottom three, McCann, Iglesias, and Anthony Gosu had a nice night last night. In the meantime, MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on Chris Tillman.
Well, he was their opening day starter. They need him to start pitching like he's the ace of their staff if they're going to go anywhere in the second half of the season. He's averaged 200 innings the last couple of years, and they're averaging 5 runs a game for Tillman, but yet only 6 wins this year. And that bottom note is very key, the knuckle curveball troubles. Last year, against that pitch, the batting average is 206. This year, the opponents are hitting nearly 400 against the Chris Tillman curveball.
Opponents overall batting .291 against Tillman as he goes to work. Ian Kinsler starts it off for the Tigers. It'll be Kinsler, then Cespedes, and Victor Martinez. First one is driven to right center field. That'll get down. A base hit that is cut off nicely by Davis to save a double, maybe a triple. Davis has shown some athleticism in the outfield. He has made several really nice plays. Tim Hortons is the sponsor of the Baltimore Orioles defensive alignment this evening. Davis, Jones, Reingold in the outfield, Machado, Hardy, Scope, Pierce in the infield, Joseph's the catcher. Machado at third base, 11 defensive runs saved this season, 5th most in Major League Baseball. He's a shortstop, basically, that's playing the third base position. So a lot of athleticism down there on the hot corner. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. 0 for 4 in last night's game as Kinsler draws a throw. Tillman is 26 years old. He was born in Anaheim. Originally drafted by Seattle. Came over in that Adam Jones deal for Eric Bedard. They play Cespedes to pull. And he looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Here's where Tillman has had issues this year. Falling behind hitters and then being forced into throwing that four-seam fastball over the plate at 92 to 94 miles an hour. And he's given up quite a few hits this season because he's fallen behind so often. Here's the 1-0. That's in there for a strike. 1-1 on Cespedes. Well, Yoenis right now is 0 for his last 9, so he's trying to break that. Still batting a solid .293. He has been an extra base machine this year. 13 homers. He's hit 27 doubles. Breaking ball bends low, and the count goes 2-1. Pretty good pace right there. 49 two-baggers. Yeah, don't expect many Tigers to attempt to steal a base here tonight with Tillman on the mound. Very seldom do the opponents try to steal while he's out there. Bouncing ball toward third. Tough play. Machado can't get it out of the glove. He'll bounce it to first, and they get the out there. Nice pick and a nice stretch by Steve Pierce on the other side of the diamond. You think they had a chance to the out at second if he fields it cleanly? If he fields it cleanly, he might have had a chance to get the force out there. But once he didn't field it cleanly, nice alertness by Machado, the former Gold Glove winner in 2013 at that position. And I talked about that stretch by Pierce. I mean, he's way out there. Pretty good. Don't pull a hamstring. So Machado makes a fine play, and the Tigers have a man at second with 1 out, and here comes Victor Martinez. Victor with an early 2-run shot in the ball game last night. He's 6th of the year. Victor has been sizzling hot since coming off the disabled list. He is healthy, and he is swinging the bat like he's healthy these days. Fouled away 0-1. Victor got the Tigers on the board in the very first inning against Ubaldo Jimenez. It was a home run into right field. And it's critical that he continues to swing the bat like he is in the absence of Miguel Cabrera. Tigers still plenty potent. 3 and 4 in the lineup with Victor and JD Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike. And really, Rob, the Tigers offense as a whole here in the month of July, they've been clicking. I mean, they're hitting .309. They hit 22 home runs. Those are both best in the American League.
And they're starting to get some really nice production throughout the entire lineup. Glacier at the bottom, Ghost, 11-game hitting streak, batting ninth. And that just turns the lineup over to guys like Kinsler, guys like Victor, Cespedes, and, of course, J.D.
2-1 now on Martinez.
And here's the count where Victor always sits on good, hard fastballs. And if you try to get inside on him, you better get in there. If you don't, he usually hits something very hard to the pull field. And many times, it leaves the ballpark.
Tigers also have scored 74 runs here in the month of July, which also is the best. That one just missed, and the count goes 3-1.
In the grand scheme of things, if you're Tillman, you don't really mind if you happen to walk Victor in this situation, even though JD has been sizzling hot, even though Castellanos has been good too. You'll go after the two right-handers versus going after a guy that's traditionally had really good numbers against your team.
Three and two. These are the major league ranks in the month of July for Detroit.
A lot of damage being done by the Tigers offense. Batting average, homers, OPS, extra base hits as well.
Three two on Martinez. 1 on, 1 out, just underway at Comerica. And it's driven foul, back out of play. Martinez 4 out of 10 against the right-hander Tillman.
Everything that Tillman has thrown Victor in this particular at-bat has been away from him, and many of the pitches off the plate outside.
And he lost in ball 4. Not the worst thing in the world for Tillman.
J.D. Martinez, for most of the season, has really hit a lot of home runs to right field and also center field. But lately, the last 4 or 5 home runs he has hit, he has gone to the pull field, whether it be a fastball inside or a hanging breaking ball. J.D. Martinez is just continuing to make adjustments to the league.
So Martinez now with 26 home runs, 60 driven in. And JD just continues to get it done. He is on pace right now for 47 home runs this year. Swing and a miss through a breaking ball, 0-1.
That's that knuckle curve, and he had a really good arm speed with that pitch.
He is the first Tiger since Hank Greenberg in 46 to reach those numbers. Average homers in a 31-game span, 350 plus in the average column. He wouldn't chase that one. Kinsler trying to get to third, and he will. Standing up.
It's good heads-up base running by Kinsler, who plays second base, but he knows what the signs are. So he knows the knuckle curve is coming before the pitch is even thrown. And as soon as he sees the ball go down in the dirt, he's off for third base, knowing it's going to be very difficult for Dylan Joseph, the catcher, to get there and throw him out. That's just really good heads-up base running and good base running instincts by Ian.
Wild pitch puts him at first and third. One sails outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
He has basically been behind every single hitter in this inning. Well, Kinsler didn't allow him to get ahead of him. He jumped on the first pitch fastball, but he was behind Cespedes. He was behind Victor, now behind JD.
Ooh. Really? 2-2. JD with a pained look on his face.
I mean, you work so hard to get yourself in that 2-1 count, and then the umpire gives the pitcher a borderline strike who's out there struggling with his command.
Now Tillman ready with the 2-2. Here it is. That's popped up. This will be a big out. Right side of the infield. Scope makes the play. They disposed of Martinez 2 away. So it'll take a 2-out hit from Castellanos.
This much we do know about Castellanos. If Tillman decides to throw him a first pitch fastball, Nick will be swinging.
241 this year for Nick. He was hitless last night. He did draw a walk. Tigers have had a single, a walk, and a wild pitch in this inning.
And in case you're wondering the numbers on Castellanos when he decides to swing at the first pitch, the batting average is .370.
Whoa. Ooh, there it goes.
Our batting average just went up.
0-1. Jim Schmeichel came up with that flying bat. Pretty good in these situations. 2 out, runners in scoring position. A solid 310 for Castellanos.
In the infield, the Baltimore Orioles are playing Castellanos to pull, which means it's a huge hole on the right side of the infield. And that's one of the things that Castellanos has done very well throughout his career. No problem hitting a base hit through the hole on the right side of the infield if he's trying to do so.
Here is Tillman's 0-1. Strike called by Chris Siegel, and it's 0-2.
It's a good firm fastball thrown there by Tillman at 94 miles an hour.
Price threw 22 pitches in the top of the first, and Mr. Tillman is about to throw his 20th here in the bottom. Kinsler down at third base. Victor Martinez at first. Wouldn't chase. They tested Castellanos. He wouldn't go after it. 1-2.
Usually when there are runners in scoring position, the pitches of choice for Tillman against right-handed batters are the changeup and slider. He threw Castellanos a curveball there in the 0-2 pitch.
Fly ball, right field, going to be playable for Davis, who circles under it. And the inning is over. Tigers threaten but do not score, and we go to the second. Is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. And by Maxwell House Coffee, good to the last drop. Still no score in this one as we go to the top of the second, and back to the mound goes David Price. Chris Davis leads it on. A rather slowly paced first inning. Both teams threatened, but neither team scored. And Davis will hit into a shift to the right side. And he's batting .234 this year, 19 home runs. That is in there for a strike, and the count goes 1-1.
And Chris Davis has that classic uppercut swing, has a lot of power. And when you want to get him out, you need to go above the belt buckle with good, firm fastballs in the mid-90s. And very seldom can he catch up to that pitch.
Swing and a miss.
Outstanding bender there thrown by Price at 79 miles an hour. The changeup has been an outstanding pitch for David all year, but that curveball that we just saw there is a pitch that's evolving with each start.
Swing and a miss. So Davis is out of there, one gone.
Fastball in the mid-90s, outstanding curveball at 79, and then he throws up a changeup that's located beautifully.
3 strikeouts for Price. Now J.J. Hardy batting .227 this year. Spent some time on the disabled list. Hardy had a shoulder problem earlier this year, and he looks at strike one.
Not many right-handed batters hold their bats and their hands as low as Hardy does. But what he does do is he ever so slightly picks the hands up just a hair and before he decides to swing the bat. But he's down there in gunfighter range.
Hardy 1 out of 4 in the ball game last night, had a double.
Eric Davis of the Cincinnati Reds used to hold his hands really low.
1-2. Outfield scattered the other way on Hardy. Pretty much straight up in the infield on JJ. And the 1-2. Price just missed a little bit inside. Tried to dot the inside corner, couldn't get it.
He'll continue to go in there until he gets some calls from Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire.
Now they go away, but high and outside, 3-2. A lot of lefties, or I should say righties, in the lineup against Price. When you look at his career numbers, lefties bat only .217 against David. Buck Showalter pounding his lineup with the right-handers tonight. Hardy back in June had an 11-game hitting streak. And he swings and strikes out. David cruising right now. 2 gone.
And back-to-back strikeouts in this inning. One of Davis, one of Hardy, one a left-handed batter, the other a right-hander, but the same exact pitch, a well-located changeup at the bottom of the strike zone.
Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece McNuggets. Here's Jonathan Scope. That is 3 straight strikeouts now for Price. 4 overall for the game. Talked about how David's big strikeout games have been down this year. He's had a couple of strikeout games of 10 or more. He usually has quite a few more than that, but he's pitched more to contact. Great ERA this year. He's winning ball games. There's a drive to left field, base hit out of the reach of Iglesias. 2-out single. That'll bring up Nolan Reimold. He'll bat with 2 outs and a man at first. Reimold did not play last night. It brings us to our Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup. Reimold against David Price, and well, these numbers are not all that good.
Yeah, David's kind of had his way.
160, although he has a homer against him. Scope at first base with a 2-out single. He's got 3 hits in the series now. Strike one. Reimold is a player that began his career with the Orioles. His first 5 years in the big leagues were with Baltimore. Then he went to Toronto and Arizona, splitting time in those 2 towns last year.
I guess you can always go back to the house.
And here he is, the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, certainly the Orioles are familiar with what Reimold can do when he first got to the big leagues, hit with a little bit of power. The 1-1. Check swing fouled back out of play. Good gathering here tonight for the Tigers and Orioles on a very warm, humid evening, and that was a really good play. Nice. Look at his son now. Hand it over.
You're a hero, Dad. Special moments at the ballpark. You can't touch it.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Reimold.
Check out brother. Wait a minute now.
Oh no, he gave him the Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, he did.
The finger wag. Price ready with the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Boy, David Price now with 5 strikeouts. He strikes out the side here in the second. countdown is on from now until midnight Sunday. Get outfield box tickets for just $38. See the Tigers play the Mariners this Monday through Thursday. Offer is available exclusively at tigers.com/diamond deals. Enter the coupon code SUMMER. Here is Alex Avila to lead things off. By the way, Ron, did you notice that with Seattle coming to town, they once again will sidestep Felix Hernandez?
Yeah, he's pitching tomorrow.
So coming out of the break, he's pitching their third game. Here's a swing and a miss, which means he'll miss the Tigers series.
He's pitching tomorrow afternoon against the New York Yankees in the Bronx.
Avila, McCann, Iglesias facing Tillman. It'll slide in for a strike, 0-2. Avila back at first base again tonight. Fourth career start at first base. Hadn't really seen a whole lot of Tillman. 1 for 6 against him career, but that one hit is a home run. 1-2 on Avila. Avila had a hit last night, scored a run. Now the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tillman will try to get you to chase the elevated fastball at about 94 after he's gotten ahead of you. But Avila in the last 2 fastballs up has been able to lay off of them.
Now he's gone 3-2. Tillman is in a growing list of players now that is not using a conventional windup, so to speak. He has that David Price one step and then brings it home.
Right.
Seen a lot more guys do that now. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Avila's out of there. That is the first strikeout of the night for Tillman. We'll bring up James McCann. We also tell you that as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. .279 for McCann. Had a hit in last night's ball game, which extends his career high hitting streak to 8 consecutive games. Strike 1 on James. What a month of July it's been for McCann. When he has gotten his opportunities to play, he has come through. 409 this month. That's in there for a strike, 0-2.
And one of the keys that we talked about regarding Chris Tillman at the beginning of the show was, would he be able to command his fastball? And so far, so good. And in this particular inning with the fastball.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes.
3 straight fastballs to James McCann.
And 2 straight strikeouts.
Four-seam fastball at 94 miles an hour.
So 2 outs here is Iglesias. His second home run of the season came last night as Tillman spins one in for strike 1.
Here's that big fly by Iglesias last night in the 4th inning. It was a changeup or a split-fingered fastball thrown by the starter, Jimenez.
One ball, 1 strike.
And then Iglesias had the nerve when he got back to the dugout to flex his muscle.
Yes, he did. One of the classic scenes last night. We see Miggy do it. And we see Cespedes do it. And then Iggy did it last night. See if that falls in. It won't. As Scope runs it down. 1, 2, 3 they go. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Orioles, no runs on 1 hit for Detroit. David Price back to the hill. Caleb Joseph will lead it off, the number 9 hitter. Then it's back up to the top, Manny Machado and Steve Pearce. Price had a much better second inning. He gave up a single to Scope, but he struck out the side in the process. Joseph doing the catching tonight for the Orioles. First one is high, 1 ball, no strikes to the number 9 hitter. Caleb got his first shot at the big leagues last year with the Wieters injury. He ended up with 9 home runs, hit .207 in the season. Fouled back out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. Joseph has 6 more homers this year. He's knocked in 26 for the O's. And that one is sprayed foul down the right field line. 1-2. Orioles got a leadoff walk in the first inning. An infield single by Jones in the first as well, but did not score. And a 2-out hit by Scope in the second.
David Price already looking for his 6th strikeout of the evening.
Almost got it there.
Yeah, Joseph just got a piece of that changeup.
David's strikeout high this year is 12. He also has an 11 strikeout game. The 12th game against the Astros, and that's not a surprise. They will strike out a little bit.
You see a lot of teams swing very early and often against Price because once he gets ahead of you, especially with 2 strikes, the batting average is only 184.
Two and two. Tonight, Price is making his 200th Major League start. And another foul back out of play.
He's been awfully durable. He has thrown a lot of innings. He strikes out a lot of batters. Keeps himself in outstanding shape.
Apparently another great catch. We've got some guys flashing some leather in the seats tonight.
Fans showing out tonight. Whoa. He's up in the upper deck too, and a kiss. Look at me, he said.
Now Price with the 2-2 again, and it's inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, David coming in had 125 innings under his belt this year. That was top 10 in the league. In search of his 10th win of the year, the Tigers 15-3 in games that he has started this year. Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Price. 6 of them now. Time for a game break. We check in with Trevor Thompson. And Greg Holland gave that up, allowing 2 runs in the 9th, and they ended up winning in the 13th inning. Thanks, Trev, who, by the way, congratulations to Trevor Thompson for winning the Ty Tyson Award this year for the best broadcaster in the Detroit area.
Wow, that is quite an honor.
Very nice honor for Mr. Thompson. Way to go, T. Here's Manny Machado. Walked but was picked off / caught stealing in the first inning. Slow roller foul. 1-1. Machado was a member of the home run derby this year at the All-Star game. He was knocked out in the first round by Jack Peterson. And Machado this year with 19 home runs.
Peterson's got a lot of power.
He was putting on a show.
He sure was.
Here's the 1-1. Driven deep to left field, way back. And that one is gone, a home run. Manny Machado has given the Orioles a 1-0 lead here in the third.
And with each home run that Machado hits the remainder of the year, he will set a new career high. And that is number 20 for the very talented third baseman.
And that's why he was in the home run hitting contest.
It's a curveball that didn't do a whole lot, just kind of spinning in the strike zone. And if you're Price, you might want to start throwing a few more fastballs in certain situations, because the first 3 innings, a lot of off-speed pitches thrown to a lot of the Baltimore hitters. He hit that a long way.
He did, man. Halfway up there. It was just a matter of fair or foul. And it just stayed fair. Pierce waves and misses 0-1. So Machado goes deep for his 20th. That is also his 49th run driven in this year. Fouled away. 0-2 now on Pierce. One of the 6 strikeout victims for Price so far. Pierce, a native of Lakeland, Florida, where the Tigers train in the month of March. Went to Lakeland High School. Ball high, 1-2.
And Pierce looks a lot like Trevor Plouffe of the Minnesota Twins, their third baseman, standing straight up and down in the batter's box, almost like a softball swing, or at least a softball approach, I should say. No bend in the knees.
Two and two.
Got one thing on his mind. That's hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
He's done it 7 times this year. '21 home runs last year, a career high. He did that at the age of 31. So out of nowhere last year, he put up some big numbers and helped the Orioles get into the postseason. It'll get back out of play. Orioles have made the postseason only twice in the last 17 years, including last year when they lost in the ALCS after beating the Tigers in the divisional series. Line to center field. That'll drop in. Base hit. 1-out single for Pierce.
Pierce can hit a good fastball. This fastball is at 94. He loves the ball down, and that's exactly where this one ended up. And he just simply dropped the bat head into the strike zone. It hit an absolute seed right back through the center of the diamond. It's a really good swing by Pierce.
That'll bring up Adam Jones.
Adam looks like he's been using that bat for a while. That thing looks like it is all beat up. It's got some hits in it.
Well, it's hit 14 homers this year, and it's knocked in 43. If that's the same bat he's been using. Ball 1 low. Jones now 3 for 6 in the series against the Tigers.
Got pine tar, rosin, all kind of nicks on that barrel too.
It appears to be one of those bats that when he does eventually break it, he's going to be pretty sad.
No doubt about that. Meanwhile, they're making David Price work here tonight.
They are.
He's about to throw his 59th pitch, and he only has 1 out here in the 4th. Excuse me, the 3rd.
And he's gone to 2-0 on Jones. Swing and a miss, man. He took a rip there.
Well, you got confidence in throwing your off-speed pitch. You can get away with it in that particular situation when the guy is sitting dead red, which Adam Jones should be in a 2-0 count. .67% fastballs thrown so far tonight. 33% changeup. Only 10% either they curve or the slider. Mostly curveball.
Foul straight back. That will level the count at 2-2. Well, he has reached the 60 plateau now. Price has had a handful of starts, only just a few in which he has not gone 100 this year. Only 4 starts. But he's had a battle early in this game. He has given up the home run to Machado here in the 3rd. Orioles lead 1-0. Another foul back at the screen. When you look at what Price and Sanchez have done over their last 14 starts combined, they are 11-0. So those two guys have really kind of stepped up. We've seen more good stuff from Sanchez recently.
Yeah, they need the 3, 4, 5 guys to step up. The other starters, their earned run average sits at 7.61 in that same span.
Big difference. Ooh, that one missed. 3-2.
Price has enough confidence to throw his changeup here. Just a matter of whether that's the pitch that James McCann calls for. See if he and David are on the same page.
They will chase Pierce back. Price has struck out 6, but he's allowed 4 hits.
They have settled on the changeup.
To the left side of the infield, Iglesias deep in the hole, goes to second one, but that's all they will get. 2 gone.
And we told you earlier, if you were not with us, that Wieters had really good numbers against Price coming into this game. So he starts him off with a fastball upstairs just to get that thought in his mind. Then he goes with another fastball. Then he follows that up with a couple of breaking balls and then a real good cut fastball that's down. And then he finishes him off with a good fastball upstairs that he swung through. It's our bell tire pitch by pitch.
So Wieters stands in now with 2 outs.
And everything was away from Wieters in that first at bat.
First one is on the outside corner, 0-1. There's a strike again on the outside corner, that time with the fastball.
And Wieters not buying it.
Nope.
And apparently he's got a little beef.
Jones at first base, only 3 steals this year. Swing and a miss, and an awkward swing, and that didn't take long. Wieters strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 1 run in and the home run by Machado. time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag DetroitDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, here comes Anthony Gose to get things started here in the bottom of the third. Gose, Kinsler, Cespedes against the right-handed offerings of Tillman. We've got the Tigers 1-2-3 back in the second.
Anthony Gose has been hot lately. That batting average up to 287.
And Gose sends a ground ball to second off the glove of Stope. Going to have to hurry, and he recovers in time. One away. And bring up Kinsler. He in a single in the first. The Tigers had a really good scoring chance in that first inning. They put runners at the corners but could not score. Kinsler extending his hitting streak to 7 consecutive games. Strike one. 6 in a row retired by the right-hander Tillman.
And Chris Tillman is 9 of 10 in first pitch strikes so far tonight. And one of the reasons why the Tigers have really not been able to barrel him up. They're always behind in the count.
Ooh, big looping curveball that drops in.
Knuckle curve. That one started up around the neck of Ian Kinsler and somehow came down enough to get the strike called from the home plate umpire. Look at that thing. It's over his head.
Kinsler thought it stayed high. He's chirping with Chris Siegel. Here's the 1-2. Tillman began the season 2-7, but is 4-0 in his last 7 starts.
And they desperately need him to pitch better if they're going to somehow run down the Yankees in their division. They also got to get Bud Norris sorted out, who's pitching out the bullpen now.
Another breaking ball that's fouled straight back. You get the feeling he's going to hang one of these times.
He is going to hang one.
It's going to go a long way.
And they do go a long way, those hanging breaking balls.
Tillman last year was 13-6. Made 34 starts. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pitched against the Tigers in the postseason last year and beat the Tigers. Pitched 5 innings, gave up a couple of runs.
Good hard fastball in 95, spoiled.
His career's kind of been up and down. From 2009 to 2011, 36 starts. The winning percentage wasn't very good. The ERA was very high. Last couple of years, very good, but slow again this season.
There's that breaking ball again, pounded foul. Tillman's best year was a couple of years ago in 2013. 2013, he was 16-7 that year. And followed that up with a really good season last year. Swing and a miss. A 9-pitch at bat. 2 gone. Well, it's an afternoon of baseball tomorrow. The Tigers wrapping up this series with the Orioles at noon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tigers and O's. Our coverage begins at noon. You'll see it right here.
Justin Verlander will get the ball for the Detroit Tigers tomorrow afternoon. Justin, throughout his career, has really good numbers against Baltimore.
And then Seattle comes to town, a 4-game series before the Tigers hit the road.
It was also very encouraging to see Justin Verlander throw the ball the way that he threw the ball last Friday night in Minnesota. He looked outstanding.
Cespedes the batter with 2 outs. swing and a miss. 1-1.
A lot of fastballs being thrown by Tillman. They're all at the same velocity, 93 to 94. Occasional 95, but they're all four-seam fastballs, which means they're all straight. Here comes another one.
Missed with it, low and away. Royals a winner again today. They won in 13 over the White Sox, so the Tigers will need a victory here tonight to keep pace. They came in 8.5 back. 3-1. Yoenis trying to break an 0 for 10 slump.
The Kansas City team really hasn't slowed down, even though Alex Gordon, one of their leaders, landed on the disabled list with a groin injury. He's going to be out for about 8 weeks.
Ooh, we had a rip there to fastball up. 3-2.
Yoenis swung at ball 4.
Orioles lead 1-0 on the Machado home run. Pounded foul back out of play. 3-2. The count stays on Yoenis Cespedes, who really has settled in nicely into the 2 spot in the lineup. Coming into this game, Yoenis was batting .320 in the 2-hole for Brad Ausmus. It's been his best average of any spot in the Tigers lineup. Drives this one in the air toward left center field. Reimold is on the run. He's going to track it down right in front of the warning track. 1, 2, 3. Go the Tigers.
Runs right now, but he should have 22. He was robbed by the former Tiger Avi Garcia on Independence Day. Now, that was in Chicago. Nice play by Garcia. The following day, July 5th, J.B. Shuck. He got him in left field. So you get where we're going. In last night's game, he also was robbed of a home run. This one by J.D. Martinez in the outfield, elevating with Sanchez on the mound. So he's not been able to get the ball away from the gloves in the outfield lately.
He'll start things off here in the 4th inning. Davis, Hardy, and Scope.
That is just a span of 2 weeks.
Tough luck. Davis this year with a total of 19 home runs. It'll bounce low, and the count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. There's the shift that they employ against the left-handed batter.
Ghost in center field is playing awfully shallow. I know that he has a lot of ability, a lot of confidence in going back on balls, but if Davis gets a hold of one straightaway center field, Ghost is not going to run it down.
Instead, they'll go the other way. There goes the bat, and the ball drops into left field for a single.
It's a changeup hit down around the label. And Davis didn't find it right away, but then he was able to find it. Ball landing softly in left field, where Davis very seldom gets base hits. Only 15 in that direction.
Here is J.J. Hardy. 5 Orioles hits in this ball game. Hardy pounds one foul, back out of play.
Price has been pitching in traffic most of the night.
He has not had a 1-2-3 inning in this game. Although he did strike out the side in the second, he gave up a base hit. So his pitch count now is at 70 here in the fourth. Swing and a miss. David, in fact, came into this inning averaging a little over 5 pitches per plate appearance in this game. So they've worked him pretty good. One and two. Just off the plate.
Everything up in this particular at bat so far to Hardy. Everything above the belt buckle.
That one just missed again, this time a little bit outside. 2-2. Price picked up the win in the All-Star game this year, pitching a scoreless inning with a couple of strikeouts.
They're able to get out 3 really good hitters too. Harper, Goldschmidt, and what's that catcher's name for the Giants?
Posey, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Price. 8 of them now.
Here's the outing just a couple of days ago, turned in by Price. Harper, the front runner to win the MVP right now in the National League, gets himself a real nice slider that he can't catch up to. Then he gets Goldschmidt on the change peak. That would be Buster Posey lining out to right field.
Second consecutive Tiger to get an All-Star win. Scherzer did it last year. A big swing there by Scope. In fact, these two teams since 2012 have they've had a lot of All-Stars. Tigers have had 17 in that span. The Orioles have had 15. Cardinals have had the most, 22 All-Stars since 2012. That's driven to right field, slicing away from Martinez. Will he have room? Reaches in but can't get it. Oh, 0-2 Jonathan Scope. Mentioned that Price has 8 strikeouts tonight. All of them have been swinging. It's got Hardy and Wieters twice each. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. That is 9 Price strikeouts. 2 gone.
And he's gotten them with all of his pitches. He's gotten a fair amount of strikeouts with the outstanding, legitimate swing and miss changeup. He's got several with the fastball. And even the cut fastball has been a much better pitch for David today. He has not made any mistakes with that cutter.
And here is Reimold, who struck out in the second. Swing and a miss. The only negative for Price here tonight has to be the pitch count. Otherwise, he's piling up the strikeouts. Gave up the home run to Machado, but that's it. That's in there, a strike, 0-2.
Those two usually go hand in hand when you're piling up lots of strikeouts, as David is. You're bound to throw a lot more pitches. And the fact that the Baltimore Orioles have had quite a few hitters today that have seen quite a few pitches from David in their plate appearances. They've done a nice job against him so far.
But he's about to throw number 80 in the ball game. Here it is, runner going. It's a strike call. He got him looking, and that is it for the Orioles. 10 strikeouts for Price. No runs, a hit, one man left. Countdown is on from now until midnight Sunday. Get outfield box tickets for just $38. You'll see the Tigers take on the Mariners this Monday through Thursday. Offer available exclusively at tigers.com/diamond deals. Enter the coupon code SUMMER. Take advantage of that. Nice night here at the ballpark if you like, well, extreme heat. And that's the way it's been. The temperature in the upper 80s, really humid at the ballpark tonight.
Also, a couple of pitchers are bringing some heat. Both guys' fastballs clocked in the mid-90s. Tillman has been much more economical here this evening through his first 3 innings. But he hasn't piled up a lot of strikeouts either.
He's going to face Victor, JD, and then Nick Castellanos. Victor Martinez had a walk. That was in the first. Tigers had their best chance to score in the first inning. First one is in there for a strike on Victor Martinez. 1 run on 5 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 1 hit for Detroit. Bouncing ball right side. Nice high hop there for Pierce. Tillman covers, 1 gone. We'll bring up JD Martinez. 9 straight retired now by Tillman. JD popped up in his first at bat. Shift on for Martinez to the left side of the infield. And they stay away with a breaking ball, 1-0. Here's how the Tigers playing defensively. Or the Orioles, rather. There's a ball that missed outside. 2-0 now on JD Martinez. Tillman's had good success against the Central in his last 7 starts. His ERA is microscopic, 1.30. Fouled off 2-1. He's been their version of a workhorse, to be sure. He has pitched over 200 innings in each of his last 2 seasons. Now the 2-1. Swing and a miss. He got him to go after the 93-mile-an-hour fastball up.
Real nice pitching sequence there by Tillman. JD Martinez, first 3 pitches were off-speed pitches. And then he threw a fastball by him at 93 because JD in the back of his mind was thinking about another off-speed pitch. And then he finishes him off with a really good firm fastball right around the belt buckle to get strike 3.
There's Castellanos. Defense playing pretty much the same way against Nick as they played against JD.
They also play Castellanos the exact same way. 3 infielders on the left side of the infield against those right-handed bats.
One ball, 1 strike. Nick flying to right field in his only at bat so far. That ended the first inning. Tillman now has retired 10 consecutive Tigers. Just missed there. 2-1. Orioles have won 6 of Tillman's last 7 starts. Two and 2. The guy we're seeing here tonight, Rod, is a guy that resembles the man they had in the rotation last week.
Yes, indeed. Getting ahead with fastballs, throwing breaking ball for strikes and fastball counts.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. The Tigers go 1, 2, 3. 5 strikeouts for Tillman. Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here in downtown Detroit, great shot of the Renaissance Center. The Tigers and Orioles going at it, game 2 in the series. In the driver's seat, brought to you by Kia. Here are the best team winning percentages by a Tiger starting pitcher since 1914. And David Price is at the top of that list. .833 winning percentage so far this year.
A couple of black and white photos on there too. Schoolboy Row with Hal Newhouser.
So Price will go back to work here in the 5th, facing the number 9 hitter, Caleb Joseph, who struck out in the 3rd. One of 10 strikeouts for Price, who has now struck out 10 or more in 3 starts this year. Bouncer right back to the mound. Price will snatch it. 1 gone in the 5th inning. Bring up Machado.
Only 1 run in the game, and it was courtesy of Manny Machado, their leadoff hitter, who homered for the 20th time this year. It was a breaking ball that didn't do a whole lot, and Manny hit it a long way into the second deck out there, or second tier of seats, I guess I should say, in left field.
So Machado has walked and homered tonight. He walked 3 times in the ball game last night. Been on base quite a bit. Ball 1 to Machado. Orioles have 1 run, 5 hits. The Tigers, no runs, 1 hit. Whistled foul, back out of play, 1-1. A couple of years ago in 2013, Machado, at the age of just 20, hit 51 doubles to lead the American League. All-Star that year, All-Star this year as well. To right field. Moving Martinez back, JD to the corner. 2 outs. First time they've gotten Machado tonight. Now Steve Pearce. Single strikeout for Pearce. Price has not gone 1-2-3 yet tonight. No balls, 1 strike. To the 3rd baseman, Castellanos had him played nicely right behind the bag. And there's your first 1-2-3 inning for David Price. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by BAL Tire. Seattle Mariners. Ticket packages include a limited edition Tigers cap. If you'd like to purchase tickets, visit tigers.com/special events. That's EMU night at Comerica Park on July 22nd. Go to tigers.com/special events for more information. Back to work we go now as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers are still down by a run on the Machado home run. Alex Avila will lead things off. It'll be Avila, McCann, Iglesias. And he rolls one foul, 0-1.
And Tigers have yet to figure out Tillman this afternoon, who's doing a very nice job of mixing up all of his pitches. And that was a changeup that he started Avila off with. He's thrown quite a few 94-mile-per-hour fastballs, knuckle curves, and a lot of strikes.
That'll miss high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Avila in the ball game, a strikeout back in the 2nd. 5 punch outs in this game. You see how they play him on the defensive side. And Tillman missed low there, 2-1. "11 straight retired by the Orioles right-hander. High pop-up, shallow left field. Who wants it? Reimold is under it, and Avila is down, 1 gone. That'll bring up James McCann. Only 1 Tigers hit tonight, and that was by Ian Kinsler, who led off the 1st inning. McCann at 278 now. He fanned in the 2nd. Breaking ball stays high, 1-0. Boy, has Tillman really settled in. I mean, in the 1st inning, he looked like he was going to struggle to stay in this game a while.
Yeah, Tigers had him on the ropes, had a runner on 3rd, less than 2 outs. But Tigers unable to push that run across the board.
He threw 21 pitches in that 1st, gave up a single, a wild pitch, a walk. Somehow escaped damage. And nothing going on since.
A lot of fastballs right around the belt buckle, about 93, 94. It looks very good, but it's also a pitch that is very difficult to get to, whether you're a left-handed batter or a right-handed hitter.
Whistle down the right field line, foul. Another souvenir. 1-2 on McCann. There's a happy fan in the right field corner. Slow roller hit toward 3rd. Machado gobbles it up there. And there are 2 gone. That'll bring up Iglesias. See if Jose can get something started here with 2 outs. He popped up in his 1st at bat.
Machado giving Iglesias a lot of room down that 3rd baseline. If he wants to bunt for a hit, he could most definitely do so. Man, he's good, but he's not that good.
Strike 1. Little nubber back to the mound. Man, Tillman is on a roll. He has retired 14 straight Tigers. We go to the 6th.
gotten it done with a variety of different pitches. The fastball's been firm. It's gotten up to 95 miles an hour. He's also used quite a few cutters. The cutter's been a really good pitch for him tonight, too, against a lot of these aggressive swinging Baltimore Orioles. But the changeup, by and large, has been the swing and miss pitch. To the righties and to the lefties, he's been able to bury that pitch at the bottom of the strike zone, and they have not been able to do anything with that changeup.
Third start this year with 10 or more strikeouts. He has had 28 of them in his career. Price had a 7-pitch fifth inning, which has helped his pitch count out. And now he's going to go through the middle of the lineup. Jones, Wieters, Davis. 3, 4, and 5 for the Orioles. They lead 1-0 here in the 6th. And his bunted foul, 0-1. Adam Jones tonight, infield hit, reaching on a fielder's choice as well. 1 for 2. Five hits for the Orioles, just 1 for the Tigers. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Jones got off to a red-hot start this year. In the month of April, he hit 400. He was legit, too. He had 19 RBIs first month. Now they go 2. Way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. David at 90 now in the pitch total. Here's the 1-2. Driven down the left field line. That ball is hit hard, and it's going to hit off the top of the wall. Jones on his way to second. He'll have a double, and he nearly hit a line drive home run out. It's a 2-bagger.
We told you earlier that Jones has very quick hands, especially on balls inside, and David didn't quite get that cut fastball where he wanted to with Jones. Man, did he turn on it. It's a line drive to hit the top of the fence and stayed in here.
Nearly a home run. That's how close. Leadoff 2-bagger here in the 6th. That is the 6th hit of the night. Only the 2nd extra base hit for either team. Now Matt Wieters, who has had a lot of difficulty tonight, he has struck out twice against Price. Swing and a miss. Chase there, 0-1. 95-mile-an-hour heat from Price. Jones, the leadoff double here in the 6th. Price had retired 6 in a row prior to that double. Another swing and a miss, 0-2.
Throwing fastballs right by Wieters here this evening.
Ooh, he took it right down the middle of the plate. Strike 3. 3 strikeouts tonight for Wieters, and 11 of them now for Price.
9 of them swinging, 2 of those looking.
One out, and that'll bring up Davis. So the 11 strikeouts is just one shy of his season high. Against Houston, he had 12. Also had 11 against the White Sox. Fouled off the mask, 0-1.
Here is our Xfinity high-speed pitch on David Price this evening. So far, top fastball has gotten all the way up to 97 miles an hour. And he's gone as low as 77 with a curveball.
Price's career high in strikeouts is 14. He did that back in 2011. He's 3 shy of that tonight, although the pitch count now at 95 for Price. Davis singled to start things off in the 4th. He is 1 for 2. The 0-1 in there. 0-2 now on Davis. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out. So after the leadoff double, Price not messing around now. That's 12 strikeouts.
That's where you want to go against Davis. You want to go firm with your fastball. You want to go above the belt buckle, and usually the result is a swing and miss. He loves the ball down, but not much success when balls are up.
Most swinging strikeouts in a start. 10 of them tonight, 10 of the 12. That'll tie a career high for Price. So here is Hardy. One more out to get to strand that leadoff double. And it's ball 1. JJ tonight 2 strikeouts. The majority of the strikeouts for Price have come toward the bottom part of the lineup. Here's the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. And he takes it low, running the count to 3-0 with Jonathan Scope waiting on deck, and that is 100 now for Price. Really is that only 1 inning in which he cruised, and that was the 7-pitch 5th. Although the last 3 have not been bad. 3-0. Hardy green lights it on 3-0 and fouls it straight back. 3-1. There's Scope waiting on deck. Hardy was on the DL in April with a shoulder problem. Trying to drive in the Orioles' second run of the game here with a 2-out hit in the 6th. Fouled away, now 3-2. Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos boots it. Iglesias able to field it, which probably saved a run in short left field. That'll leave him at first and third now with 2 outs.
A ball appeared to climb right up the arm of Nick Castellanos, and a nice job by Iglesias, who was moving over toward third base and was able to make a play on that ball after it was mishandled by Nick.
An error on Castellanos, the first of the game for the Tigers. That'll leave him at first and third now and give Scope an opportunity. Price will have to try and pitch around the air. Looks like there's some stirring now in the Detroit bullpen. Alex Wilson is starting to loosen up. So here is Scope with men at first and third. Single and a strikeout in this game. Bouncing ball right side should get him out of the inning, and it will. So Price pitches around the leadoff double and an error. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, I love him. I even like those old Tex unis too. And J.R. Richard used to wear that uniform. Boy, was he mean on the mound. Tillman's been pretty mean tonight too, as Ghost tries to drop down a bunt, pops it up. It'll roll foul. Tillman, good choice there to let it roll. Also good idea by Anthony Ghost, trying to get anything going. The Tigers
They have not been able to do much against Tillman this evening, who came in with a 6-7 record and an earned run average that was approaching 5.5.
Well, tonight he gave up the leadoff single in the first inning, a walk, a wild pitch, but after that, he's gone on to retire 14 consecutive Tigers. Nursing a 1-0 lead on the home run by Machado in the third. The 0-1 is outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Ghost, Kinsler, and Cespedes here in the bottom of the 6th. Two and 1. Low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Anthony bounced out his first time up. 11-game hitting streak going for Ghost, who here in the month of July is hitting .419. There's a strike, 3-2. Ghost not so sure.
It's been a good at-bat for Anthony Ghost. He worked to count to 3 balls and 1 strike, and as a hitter, you do yourself a disservice if you swing at that last pitch, regardless of whether it was called a strike or not.
Also, Ghost coming into this game was 6 for 12 in his career against Tillman. Waiting on another 3-2 offering. Foul away again. This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat. Only 1 Tigers hit tonight. The single by Kinsler in the first. And he got him, strike 3. Ghost caught looking.
Tillman's been able to get it done tonight with a mixture of fastballs that have been up in the strike zone. Tigers hitters have had a difficult time of laying off the mid-90s fastball. Then he gets looking for that upstairs. He drops that hammer on you. It's a knuckle curve, but he has just been very economical this evening. Lots of first pitch strikes. He has not made many mistakes over the heart of the plate. This is the Tillman that the Baltimore Orioles have been waiting on all year.
5 1/3 so far, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk as Kinsler strolls in. And they'll play Ian to pull on the infield. And he drives one in the air in the shallow left center field. Jones coming over. The center fielder makes the catch. 2 gone.
This is the only hit today against Tillman. It came in the bottom half of the first inning.
And it looked like that ball might be a double, but Davis out there in right field did a nice job to cut it off.
He is not necessarily a right fielder by trade, but he's made some nice plays in the outfield, Davis. 3 really nice running catches for Chris last night.
Now Yoenis Cespedes with 2 outs. Strike 1 on Cespedes. Yet another Tiger offensive player that they play to pull to the left side of the infield. There's the Orioles D. Bouncing ball left side, right at Machado. His throw is on target. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tillman, who's retired 17 straight. ballpark. The countdown is on. From now until midnight Sunday, get outfield box tickets for just $38. You'll see the Tigers take on the Mariners this Monday through Thursday. Offer available exclusively at tigers.com/diamond deals. Enter the coupon code SUMMER. Well, David Price has answered the bell here as we go to the 7th inning. There's activity, though. Ian Kroll is the left-hander. Alex Wilson is the right-hander. Nolan Reimold leads it off in the top of the 7th. And Reimold looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Orioles got a great chance. They had another run in the 6th, leadoff double by Jones that almost went out of the ballpark, but they stranded him. Reimold has fanned twice tonight. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
He's been swinging just like that at the Price changeup all night long. But he's not the only Baltimore Oriole that has not been able to pick the changeup up out of the hand of Price this evening.
Now the 1-1. That's high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Driven on 1 hop to second base. Right there is Kinsler. Reimold is out, 1 gone. Here is Caleb Joseph. Price, you might recall, pitched against the Orioles in Game 3 of the ALDS when the Tigers were eliminated. He gave up just 2 runs in 8 innings in that game. Tigers almost came back in the bottom of the 9th, but ended up being swept by the O's. Price went 8, gave up 5 hits, just 2 runs. The home run by Cruz, that was it. Here's the 0-1. Touch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Price has thrown as many as 121 pitches in a game. Threw 117 in his last start. Rolled foul. Ground out strikeout tonight for Caleb Joseph. The Orioles, 4 through 9 hitters in this game, have 11 strikeouts. Grounder to short. Right there is Iglesias. That'll be a routine play, and there are 2 gone. A couple of ground ball outs here in the 7th. And back up to the top now, Manny Machado. It's funny when you watch Price pitch, Rod. I mean, we were in the 3rd inning, and we're thinking, well, he might go 6 tonight based on his pitch count. And he's got a shot here if he can get a quick out, maybe to go out in the 8th.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing that he did in Minnesota. And that's the game that you're speaking of when the pitch count really started to pile up early, but he was able to pull his net. Retired the last 10 minutes of the Twins in a row before going on to victory in his last start last Thursday.
Machado responsible for the only run, a home run back in the 3rd. And he drives this one to right field, chasing Martinez back. He'll run it down. Going to be a 1-2-3 inning for David Price.
He might just lobby for another inning.
Time for the Dick Scott Automotive 7th inning. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, Tillman has been literally almost unhittable tonight. He's going to have to deal with the 3, 4, and 5 guys here. Victor Martinez, JD Martinez, Nick Castellanos. 1-0 on the Manny Machado home run as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Victor is 0 for 1 with a walk. And Tillman misses high and away. 1 ball and no strikes.
(16 of 21 in first pitch strikes thrown so far for Tillman tonight. Part of the reason why he's having so much success.
He threads the needle on the outside part of the plate. 1-1. Victor came in 4 for 10 against Tillman. Here's the 1-1 offering. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Tigers got 2 base runners in the first, and that's been it this entire game. Here's the 1-2. Sails outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Martinez now at 270 in the average column. Came in lifetime a better than 300 hitter against the Orioles. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 7 strikeouts for Tillman. You don't miss a second of Tigers baseball. Catch all of the action tomorrow at noon. The Tigers take on the Orioles right here at Comerica Park. It'll be the final game of the series. Our coverage begins at noon on Fox Sports Detroit. And JV will tote the slab tomorrow for the Tigers. Here are the numbers he had last time against the Twins. That ball game, the Tigers bullpen could not hold for him.
Yeah, 5-run lead in the 9th inning. The Tigers let that one slip away from them.
Miguel Gonzalez will throw for the Orioles tomorrow in the series finale. Cespedes swings and misses 0-2. Or JD rather. JD Martinez, who is 0 for 2, pop up and a strikeout. Meanwhile, David Price doing all he can tonight, giving up just the 1 run. JD takes the ball outside. Now Neftali Feliz and Alex Wilson heating up. JD waits on a 1-2. Up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Apparently Brad has decided it'll be Feliz if the Tigers are able to score a run or take the lead. If they don't, it'll be Wilson.
Swing and a miss, and down he goes.
Tigers cannot pick up that fastball thrown by Tillman all night long. That one about 92, 93, but he threw one right past Victor Martinez, who's a good fastball hitter, and one right past JD Martinez.
8 in the strikeout column now for Tillman, which means 20 batters have struck out tonight between the two sides. Here's Castellanos. Nick struck out in his last at bat, flat out in his first at bat. And he skies one in the air to shallow right field. Chris Davis coming in under it, and it's yet another 1-2-3 inning for Tillman. hit. That was the first batter he faced in the first inning. A single by Kinsler. That has been it. Manny Machado's solo home run in the third. That has been it scoring wise. So the Tigers doing some pretty good pitching of their own. But right now they're down by a run, and that's going to be it for David Price. Wallside Windows pitching change as Alex Wilson takes over.
Wilson's done nice work out of the bullpen this year. Variety of different roles. Pitching in his 32nd contest here. He comes in with a 2.14 earned run average. The whip just a shade over 1, and he hasn't walked very many this season. Only 7 base on balls and 27 strikeouts for Wilson. 12 strikeouts tonight for David Price, and he got it done with a variety of different pitches. Overpowered them with fastballs in the mid-90s, got up to 97. Threw some real good cutters, but that change piece was a real nice pitch for him all night long.
7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 12, count them, 12 strikeouts, equaling a season high, 2 shy of his career high. So Wilson is out there. Pierce leads it off and sends a ground ball to third, scooped up by Castellanos. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring up Jones. Adam Jones, an infield single, very nearly hit one out in his last at bat. He hit a line drive off Price that hit the yellow line in the left field wall and bounced back in instead of over. But the Orioles stranded him after that leadoff double. Tigers tonight have been out hit 6-1. In there, strike 1. So Jones now with 2 hits tonight, had 2 hits last night. His average up to 287. Low ball 1. Tigers went deeper into the bullpen last night. They used Albuquerque, Soria, Phillies, Hardy. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jones last year hit 29 home runs. He has gone 5 seasons of 25 or more. Here's the 1-2. They'll shoot that one to the right side of the infield. Avila will feed Wilson, and there are 2 gone.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. Matt Wieters came in 15 for 41 in his career against David Price, but tonight, no success whatsoever. He punched him out in the first inning. He also got him again in the third inning. First time fastball. That time it was a changeup. Then he dusted him again with a mid-90s fastball for the 3rd strikeout of the evening, and the 12 total for David Price.
Wieters ecstatic to see Price out of the game. He'll bat now with 2 outs, nobody on. Hitting left-handed, the shift on to the right side of the infield. Ball 1. Jeff Jones on the telephone to the bullpen. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wieters.
We've got a left-handed batter in the on-deck circle. That would be Chris Davis, and I'm sure that was the call down to the bullpen to tell Kroll that he's probably got Davis if Davis comes to the plate in this inning.
Kroll was warming up a little bit earlier, so it shouldn't take him long if he needs to come in here quickly. Bouncer right back up the middle. Kinsler gobbles this one up. And that is that. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Wilson. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Bat is up to the moment, and any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Avila, McCann, Iglesias facing the right-hander Tillman. And Tillman delivers strike one to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th. Avila, strikeout and a flyout. And he looks at another strike, 0-2.
Back-to-back knuckle curves to get ahead of Avila. 0-2.
Fastball up here.
Yep.
Just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Avila did not offer. Now the 1-2. He'll get back out of play.
Very seldom has he shaken off the catcher here this evening. They've been on the same page all night long.
McCann on deck. Just got a piece to stay alive.
He might go back to that knuckle curve again. He's been very good with that pitch all evening long. And it's a pitch that really hadn't been all that good for him all season. But tonight, he's been able to bury it at the bottom of the strike zone.
Ground ball right side, right into the shift. Scope throws him out. Again, Pierce with a stretch at first base. So there's a base hit taken away from Avila. That'll bring up McCann.
Avila loses a lot of hits. And due to the shift that is employed against him every time he goes to the plate.
So McCann with a strikeout and a ground out. He drives this one, caught on a leap by Scope.
He was playing perfectly by Scope. Scope playing up the middle about 4 or 5 steps to the right than he normally plays, and the ball hit directly at him, and Scope able to elevate and make a real nice athletic play.
He was just an inch shorter. Got up as high as he could. 2 up, 2 down. On a sharply hit ball by McCann. Here's Iglesias with 2 away. Ball 1 high.
Well, we talked about Tillman at the beginning of the show. And needing to pitch like the ace that he is for their team, and he has done that tonight.
Drops in a breaking ball strike.
Not a lot of run support this year. And for Tillman, 16 of the starts this season, just under 3 runs per game.
110 is his pitch count high this year. He's done it a couple of times. He's at 104 right now. And the 2-1. High. 3-1 on Iglesias. Ghosts on deck. Here's the 3-1. Fly ball in the air to center. That'll be routine for Jones, who hot dogs it a bit and makes the catch for out number 3, and we go to the 9th. One hit in this game. We have another wall side windows pitching change. Ian Kroll will come on for the Tigers.
Ian Kroll pitching in his 15th game in the big leagues. He was outstanding down in the minors before getting called back up again this year. 3rd stint with the big league club. 13 in the 3rd innings logged so far up here with an ERA over 6.5. He's got a fastball that will top out at 95. Every now and then he'll touch 96. Good curveball and an occasional changeup.
Chris Davis will start things off here. Davis, Hardy, Scope. Shift on for Davis. Strikeout, single, strikeout tonight for the Orioles. He skies this one high in the air to center field. On the move is Ghost. Still going back. He's got a beat on it right to the warning track, almost in front of the wall.
Talked about how shallow Ghost was playing Davis the last time Davis was up. He was playing very shallow, but that ball had a lot of air underneath it, and with the speed of Anthony Ghost able to get back there and run it down.
So Kroll is going to come on to face one batter, and that's it. He gets the lefty, albeit a 415-foot flyout. And so we have a break in the action. Bruce Rondon will come on. We'll be back.
And here's the Call Sam 1-800 Call Sam call of the game. 10 swinging strikeouts today for David Price, which equals a career high. He's done it a couple of other times. He did it against the Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2010, and he also has done it against the Boston Red Sox.
So the Tigers now have gone to Bruce Rondon. Here are the numbers on Mr. Rondon this year.
And he's got a big arm. Rondon's fastball goes anywhere from 97 all the way to triple digits. He also has a slider and a changeup.
J.J. Hardy, the first man to face him. And it's in for strike one.
Nice easy gas at 96 miles an hour out of the hand of Rondon.
Hardy is 0 for 3, reaching on an error in his last at bat. Otherwise, a couple of strikeouts against Price. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Lined over the head of the shortstop. Iglesias has a base hit.
0-2 pitch did not get up high enough against Hardy. Chevrolet brings you the high-strength steal of the game. It happened back in the bottom half of the 8th inning. James McCann making a bid for a single, but Scope had other plans, able to elevate and take a base hit away from James McCann.
And Scope now will step in. 1 on, 1 out here in the 9th inning. First hit for the Orioles since the leadoff double in the 6th. That's drilled down the left field line. That ball is going to hit off the wall. Coming to third base is Hardy. They're going to stop in there. And Scope has himself a double.
It seems like every time Scope gets a base hit, it's either home run or a double. He got a first pitch fastball that was right down the middle. Even though you throw 96, 97 miles an hour, you don't get away with this pitch very often. Not when a guy is looking for the fastball.
Jimmy Paredes will pinch hit now for Reimold. The infield coming in for the Tigers. Paredes hit .297, played in the ball game last night, started as the DH, had a single in his at bats last night, and he takes ball 1 low. 8 hits now for the Orioles. Single by Hardy, double by Scope, greeting Rondon. Infield is in. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
It's a big swing there by Paredes, who typically has been very good in these situations. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. He has been successful 7 of 11 times, which is good for 64%. The league average at 50%.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rondon takes over for Wilson, who actually Kroll, who took over for Wilson. Kroll got the first out of the inning. Wilson a 1-2-3-8. Fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Paredes.
It's a good slider there thrown. And Paredes no doubt looking for a fastball. McCann called for the slider, and Bruce Rondon able to execute the pitch.
Rondon ready with the 2-2. Driven foul back out of play.
It's got him set up for the fastball now after back-to-back breaking balls, but the fastball's got to be one that's in the upper 90s if he's going to get the strikeout, which he desperately needs right now.
Two and 2 on Jimmy Paredes. Bouncing ball right side. He will not try and score the run. Avila tags the bag for the out. And the runner holds at third. 2 gone. We'll bring up Caleb Joseph now. The infield going back with 2 outs. So Joseph tonight has put the ball on the ground twice. He is 0 for 3. He also has a strikeout. Tillman with the towel around his neck. Their closer Britton warming up in the bullpen. And it's strike 1 on Joseph. Little pop-up, shallow center field. Ghost tries it, can't get it, and 2 runs will score. A diving attempt by Anthony Ghost. It'll be a 2-out, 2-run hit for Joseph. And the Orioles now lead 3-0.
Anthony Ghost playing very shallow in center field, comes in and nearly makes another really nice catch in center field. This ball right off the tip of the glove.
And Rondon's reaction along with David Price. It looked like Ghost might make that play, but it dropped in. 2 big runs for the Orioles, and there's a strike on Manny Machado. RBIs 27 and 28 for Joseph. First runs in this game since the home run by Machado in the 3rd. That had him frozen for strike 2. Here's the 0-2. Driven deep to right field. Martinez on the run. JD looks on this one, bouncing up against the wall. Here comes Joseph to third. They're going to try and score him. Kinsler's throw to the plate. They're calling it a ground rule double. He's nothing right now at home plate. They're going to send him back to third. A ground rule double.
Another 0-2 hit given up by Bruce Rondon in this inning. One to Hardy and then another one to Machado.
Here goes Buck now. A ground rule double for the time being saves the Tigers a run. Here it bounces and yep, over the white line it appeared. Or the yellow line.
Yeah, look like it hit that fence and bounced back.
Yeah, that's a ground rule double. Although they're going to look at it.
This shouldn't take very long.
Now they want the second base umpire, Paul Schreiber, to come in. They're going to talk about this. Apparently before they take a look at it. But it clearly appeared to hit the ground and then bounce off the railing, which is beyond and above the yellow line. So it should be second and third and still a 3-0 game. I'm taking a look at it. Here comes Brant Ausmus coming out now.
I don't think there's a question whether that ball was. You automatically have to go back to third base if it's a ground rule double, or is this a situation where they can rule where the base runner was and determine whether he may have scored or not?
Well, that may be. And Brant Ausmus went out and had a brief chat with the other two umpires not looking at this, and that may be the situation here. They may be trying to decide where that runner was. Well, in the meantime, it's still 3-0, and hopefully it'll stay that way. In the meantime, Machado's had another big night, a double and a homer and a walk in this game. But the 2-run single off the bat of Caleb Joseph with 2 outs here in the 9th inning off Rondon has proved to be big.
Well, here's the base runner, and when the ball goes up and out, he's not even at third base. He is in between second and third, so they've got to put him back at third.
And that's what they're going to do. So they got it right, second and third. Now Jonesy coming out to talk with Rondon, who has not been effective here in the 9th.
Nothing wrong with Rondon's stuff, but he's just not making the quality pitch when he's able to get ahead of the hitter. I mean, he's given up 2 hits in this inning, no balls, and 2 strikes.
MLB has confirmed it was a ground rule double, so they were not looking at the runners. And it was pretty easy to see that ball hopped off the dirt straight to the railing behind the yellow line. So the Orioles still lead 3-0. They have 10 hits now. And they'll try and And a few more here. Steve Pearce rolls in. Pearce a single in 4 at-bats. So Rondon, since entering, he's given up a single, a double, a 2-run single, and another double. And that one stays high, 1-0. So there is Zach Britton tuning up. It appears he will be coming into the ball game.
He was an all-star this year. Lockdown closer for the Baltimore Orioles the last couple of years.
Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pearce. Right now it is a safe situation for the lefty Britton. Inside, almost hit him. .106 pitches for the starter Tillman. It's the first time he's gone beyond 7 innings in a game this year. Two and 2 the count. Adam Jones waiting on deck.
Looks like Tillman might be done in this game, and if so, he retired the last 23 Tigers that he faced this evening in a row.
Will pop up back out of play. Pretty incredible when you consider the only hit he gave up was the single in the first inning to Kinsler.
And when you add in his numbers coming in, 6 wins, 7 losses, 5.40 ERA coming into play this evening.
You don't think Buck would consider bringing him out, would you? 106 pitches.
It doesn't appear so. It's been a lengthy sit down for him in this particular inning.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. That'll do it for the Orioles. They will strand a pair, but they get 2 big ones, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. We send it down to Justin White now with a preview of what's coming up on Tigers Live.
Hey Mario, quite a pitcher's duel tonight between David Price and Chris Tillman. And we'll break it all down coming up after the game on Tigers Live. You'll hear from Price after his season high, or tying season high, 12 strikeouts, plus the post-game press conference of Brad Ausmus. Trevor Thompson and Craig Monroe will be in the Coliseum studios for Tigers Live immediately following this one. Mario and Rod, back to you.
All right, Justin, thanks very much. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Tomorrow in the series finale, it's going to be Gonzalez and Verlander.
Well, hopefully Verlander can go out and look as good as he did in his final tune-up start before the first half ended. He was spectacular last Friday in Minnesota.
Well, the Tigers now will have to do it against the closer of the Orioles. It is left-hander Zach Britton.
23 saves this year for Britton. He is looking for save number 24 here this evening. He's only blown one. The earned run average is outstanding. 41 strikeouts, 8 base on balls. Fastball tops out at about 96 miles an hour. It's a sinker. And he also has a curveball that does not get hit very often.
David Lowe will take over in left field. And we've got a pinch hitter now. Rajai Davis will get an at bat here in the 9th inning to start things off. He is pinch hitting for Anthony Gose. Davis this year 3 for 15 as a pinch hitter, and he looks at ball one.
Rajai Davis has seen his playing time cut drastically lately for a couple different reasons. Gose has been awfully hot, and the Tigers have not seen very many left-handed starting pitchers lately.
Rajai waves and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. I was talking to Rajai in the recent road trip in Seattle about that and how he tries to keep fresh and into ball games, and he says, I basically just take my game face into the cage because that's all I can do right now. Continue to try and stay ready, as Gose has gotten the majority of the reps. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Rajai really has never been an everyday player, not playing 150 games in the season, but this year in his playing time not nearly as much as it has been in the past.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Davis in a pinch hitting role. 1 gone.
98 mile per hour, 2-seam fastball.
9 strikeouts for Orioles pitching tonight. Here's Ian Kinsler.
Ian Kinsler has got the only hit for the Tigers all night long, and that came at about 7:20 this evening back in the first inning.
Hard to believe. He has seen Britton 6 times, 1 for 6 against him. Ball 1. .23 saves for Zach Britton. That's in there, a strike. 1-1.
That is not a straight fastball. That fastball's got some life to it. It's got some fading action down and away from the right-handed batting Kinsler at 97.
One and 2. Only Glenn Perkins of the Twins and Houston Street of the Angels have more saves this year than Britton.
Britton also came up as a starter. They have 3 members in their bullpen now, former starters, Mattis and also Tommy Hunter, along with Zach Britton. Now all pitching out of the bullpen.
To the left side of the infield, Hardy waits in the hop. Quick throw is dug out at first base nicely by Pierce.
Let's take a look at the big boys, big play of the game, the only blemish tonight for David Price. It's a breaking ball that didn't quite get to the area that it needed to get to, and Machado hit home run number 20 back in the 3rd.
And for a while it looked like it might be the only run of the game until the Orioles got 2 on the 2-out single by Joseph.
Light rain starting to fall here. Some of the folks starting to scatter a little bit.
Yoenis Cespedes will stand in there with 2 outs. Oh for 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs and a fly out. swing and a miss.
It's amazing. The Orioles pitching staff has really throttled this Tigers offense, which coming in was hitting .309 in the month of July, the best in baseball.
And the Tigers offense really showed out in last night's game. Homers by JD, Victor, and Iglesias.
Tillman looking on, hoping Britton can get this final out, and a swing and a miss. One and two on Yoenis Cespedes.
Tillman retired the final 23 in a row that he faced. The 1-2. It'll bounce in, 2-2 the count.
Day game here tomorrow with Verlander on the hill. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss to strike him out. Unbelievable tonight. The pitching for the Orioles absolutely shut down the Tigers. The Tigers managed just one hit on the night, and the Orioles win it 3-0. Back with more from Comerica.